Hey everybody, Henry Fernandez here with another podcast. I have come today to empower you to maximize your full potential, to live your best life. And that's the reason why I want to talk about 7 successful life principles. And these life principles you should never, ever forget. If you apply them to every area of your life, maybe you need to take notes. They'll be putting it on the screen and you will get a chance to see them. So just go ahead and write them down or so forth. And I'm just here to help you, man, to live a successful life. And there are principles that you have to follow in order to be successful in life. The very first one is put God first. It sounds simple, but this is the area where a lot of us are struggling in. We sometimes think God is first, maybe. Others just don't do it, but God has to be first. When you put God first in every area of your life, in other words, you trust Him, you rely on His wisdom, and how you put Him first is to make sure that you consult Him when it comes to everything concerning your life. Every morning you get up, you find that time. I'm not going to say if you wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, get to your bed and kneel at your bedside and pray. You know, that's religious stuff, right? You find the perfect time that you know that it would really connect you with God in the mornings. And throughout the day, you could be on the job, you could be driving, you could be talking to God. You can talk to God verbally where you speak out loud, or in your mind, you can talk to God. Of course, get into His Word, read His Word, study it, apply it, get into group discussions at home or with your friends and so forth. Even, get with, your church groups, make sure you go to church, stream, wonderful, but you got to find time where you go to church. I mean, if everything you do is at home, let's say, I'd rather stream at home. Okay, I get it, but do you go to work? Do you go to the grocery store? Do you go to the dentist, the doctor? I mean, do you go out and do things? If you do all of those things, you should not neglect or forsake the assembling of the saints. You should make sure you find a way to go out. That's putting God first. That's prioritizing yourself, or prioritizing, your daily chores, the things that you do by putting God first. So you put God first. Consult Him. Every decision you're going to make, you put Him first. Number 2, and this is very important, and we also struggle to do this, and that is take care of yourself emotionally and physically. Take care of yourself emotionally and physically. What do I mean by that? Let's deal with the emotional part. You got to make sure that your thoughts are pure, your thoughts are on good things. A lot of people right now are struggling mentally with the issues of life. They're not crazy. You're not crazy. I'm not saying that. That's not the issue. But you're overloaded and your thoughts are not good. You have low self-esteem. You having a pity party. You are trapped with your life circumstances, whatever that might be. You just feel trapped. You feel unfulfilled. You feel that you can't be your best self. You feel that you're performing so much for others, or you're performing just to keep an image and so forth. But you got to be careful what you're putting in your head. Your thoughts has to be pure. Your thoughts has to be positive. Your thoughts has to be, thoughts that really give you hope. Because if you don't, then emotionally, you're going to drain yourself. At some point in time, you're going to break. Emotionally, also, is to clear your head. It's okay. There are times you just need to stop. Sometimes we get so busy that we don't take time out to chill and to stop. And I'm talking about everything we do. I mean, you work, you work, you work, you work. And I know you're trying to make money. I know you're trying to get the bills caught up. I know you're trying to do all of those things. But I'm telling you, you can work, and you may not like the advice I'm giving you, but it's the truth. It will help you. You can go out there and you can work and you can hustle and you can do all those things and you can pay your bills and to maintain a life that maybe honestly you can't afford, but you do all of that when you have a nervous breakdown or you're sick or God forbid you die. Guess what? Okay, somebody else is going to enjoy it, whether it's your spouse, your children, your relatives, your family. Somebody is going to pick up and benefit from what you never benefited for. I don't care what it is. At the end of the day, the scripture teaches us that we have to, first of all, be content in whatever situations we find ourselves in. And then we must also count the cost of what we're doing. No one will go build a house and not first count the cost. No one is going to go out there and acquire things just to acquire them because it's your passion. Of course, we all have our desires. We all want certain things. I want certain things, but can I afford it now? No. I choose not to. I'm not going to go out of my way. Now, I can force it if I want to, but what I'm going to end up doing is hurting myself. The greed. And that's we have to be careful. That greed is what's going to mess us up. We have to have certain things now. And we have our timetable. And when we don't get it, that's where anxiety kicks in. That's where the panic attacks. That's where we get flustered. That's where we can't think. We can't think, and that's why we make stupid, dumb decisions. So I'm saying to you, you've got to get your emotions under control. You got to, first of all, like I said in number 2, is you have to take care of yourself. Self-care is the best. Not waiting for somebody to care for you, not waiting for somebody to do right or for the conditions to be right for you then to say, I think I'm better prepared. I think emotionally I can do this. No, life is going to break you down. Life is going to test your feelings. And you have to be strong enough to say to yourself, no, I'm going to look after myself and I'm going to make sure nothing I do will throw off my emotions to the negative side. Are you hearing me? So you've got to make sure you do that. You got to clear your head. Clearing your head helps you to unwind. It's so funny, man. Sometimes I think we just overload ourselves with so many things. We worry about our age. We worry about life. We worry about finances. We worry about the person we're dating. We worry about our spouse, our children. We worry about finances. We worry about medical issues. We worry about society. There's just so many things, our job. There's so many things we worry so much about, and it will affect you emotionally. I believe I'm talking to somebody right now. And you need to stop that. You need to get your emotions under control and take care of yourself. Some things you just got to let it go. Some things you just got to let it work itself out. Don't fight it. You have to, right? So clear your head. Take vacations. It's so important. If you were to, prioritize your life and what you do, some of the monies you do and you use to buy stuff just to feel good or to make a statement. And at the end, those are the very same thing that are really frustrating you and causing your emotions to be off balance. But if you say to yourself, for example, all right, let's think about this for a moment. And a lot of you won't agree with this. Okay. All right. You're stressed. Your finances are short, whatever, but you're stressed in the job and everything, whatever the stress may be. Okay. You're there. Now you have a decision. Now I'm giving you a principle here. You have a decision where to make where, let's say you need furniture in the house. You need furniture in the house, living room set, dining room set. That's going to cost $5,000. Okay. And you're stressed, everything. Now, you can buy the $5,000 furniture and pretty up your house, right? And that's you. and you work and you come home, you got nice furniture, but you're still stressed, right? First of all, ain't nobody coming to your house because you don't allow nobody to come to your house. You're so private, nobody comes to your house. So you went and spent $5,000 just to appeal to your eye, to say you got that. You sit on it. Very seldomly you sit on the sofa. Very seldomly you get a chance to eat around the dining table. But you never take a vacation. You never say, let me spend $2,000 plane fare, a hotel for a week with food, clothes, and so forth, pocket money. You never do that. When that could be the thing that calm you down and so forth, and you'll be fine. Now, I rather have an empty house. Now, if I'm bringing home guests, I'm an entertainer, that's kind of a different thing. The point I'm making, you've got to learn to find ways to get out of your environment, whether it's vacations or little weekenders. You've got to find a way to get out. And then you have to, when you also deal with the emotional part of you, you have to deal with the physical. And that is, making sure that you do what the doctors say. You take your exercise, you go to work out, you do certain things, to maintain your health. And of course, your diet. Watch your diet. Make sure that you're eating properly and so forth. And physically also has to do with your finances. How, again, going back to the example I just gave you, you got to know how to budget and how to prioritize what's best for you, what will bring you happiness, and find ways to create wealth. So number 2 is loaded. Number 3, never stop learning. Never stop learning. You never stop learning. A lot of people they close their minds to the opportunity to learn lessons. Never stop learning. Make sure you go into the environment that will teach you the right things, because the crowd you are around, the friends and the associates that you have, what you look on social media, all the digital platforms that you tend to follow, you got to make sure that you're hearing the right things, because every day you're inundated with information. And you have to open up to either the good ones or the bad ones. So never stop learning. You're in business. Never stop learning. What do you need to learn to sharpen your skills so that you can succeed at what you do as a business owner? You're in corporate America, never stop learning. Go to the seminars, go to the webinars, whatever you need to do, never stop learning. You have a trade, never stop learning, because it keeps you, in tune and informed of any latest information. Number 4, be quick to forgive, let go, and move on. This is a life principle that will get you real success in life. People are going to do you wrong. You're going to be offended, some intentionally and some unintentionally. They're going to do you things. You're not going to be happy about everything. People are going to tick you off. They're going to do crazy stuff. You cannot live your life holding up people in your heart. You got to let go. Listen, it's up to them to forgive you. It's up to them to even accept your forgiveness. But you've got to forgive. You do not stifle your growth and your peace and your joy with all of your anger and your bitterness over what they did. You need to learn to forgive, because it's about you. Let it go. Just let it go. Because if you forgive and still holding it on, you're still carrying it, and it's going to fester. It's going to manifest later. So you've got to let it go. Then you move on. Moving on simply means, okay, they got you once, but they'll never get you twice. You're not a fool. You move on. Move on to other things, right? It didn't work out. Whatever the situation, and learn to move on. Sometimes, regrettably, you have to leave a situation and have to say, okay, fine. It didn't work, and I'm offended. It hurt. That's not the result I was looking for. Okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to camp out where you have failed or where you thought things could have been better? Or are you going to say no, move on? And that's what you have to learn to do, especially when you know you're in the right, especially when you know what you have to offer, especially when you know who you are. You're an asset, not a liability. When you know that you are a good person with a good heart, that's okay. Let it go. Just okay, fine. People may think otherwise of you, but you've got to be mature to let it go, move on. And number 5, don't be afraid to make decisions that will make people angry. Don't be afraid to make some tough decisions that will literally make people angry at you. Sometimes we're scared because we don't want to offend anybody. We don't want to hurt anybody. And one of the things I've learned over the years that God has blessed me to be in leadership and to deal with people is that I learned this. I am telling you, if you ever try to be a people pleaser, if you ever sit there trying to say, no, I don't want to offend, I don't want to hurt, and don't want to make certain decisions, you're going to hurt yourself in the end. You're going to slow or stop your progress. So at some point in time, you've got to make a decision. No, make the decision and let the chips fall where they may. And you just move on. So some decisions, some of you right now, there's some decisions you're supposed to be making. And you're hesitating because you're worried about this one, you're worried about that one, you're worried about what people think and all of these things. And some of those people, they don't care squat about you. You've self-care. What's in your best interest? You always have to do that. What is in your best interest? Because some people, the people that you are worried about, the people sometimes you are embracing and you care deeply about, sometimes you've got to cut the cord, because if they don't care about themselves, why should you allow them to drag you down the pit with themselves? You don't do that, right? Some of you have children. With your children, here it is, you're doing so much for your children and you know what they're doing is wrong, and you keep feeding that and you keep doing the things that is supporting the wrong. Sometimes you've got to make a decision. And it's going to tick people off. It's going to hurt them, but it's all about self-care. Number 6, make sure you befriend, date, or marry someone who shares your values. Make sure you befriend, date, or marry someone who shares your value. That is a life principle. Oh my goodness. Everybody should learn, man. You don't want to end up being with someone, whether it's a friend. Let's talk about the friendship, Why be with a friend who doesn't share your values, who doesn't understand your interest, who is not willing to compromise and adjust, who doesn't understand your vibes or is upset about your vibes, or who won't connect with you? No, a lot of relationships, even in friendships and people you're dating and marriage, I really believe a lot of it has to do is we get so caught up with how we feel towards a person. We want a companion. We love, we don't want to be lonely. We want somebody in our lives. We want to feel appreciated. We want to feel love. We want marriage. We want the splendor of marriage. We want security, financial security, whatever it may be. We want to belong, right? We want the status. And we fail to understand you can get all of that. But if you don't pay attention to who are you marrying, what are their values, what are their interests, is that compatible? And when I say compatible, I'm not saying you ought to be the same. No, but can it gel? Can it be in sync? Can it be blended together? So, for example, let's say you like going out, you just like going out to dinner and you like to dress up and go, and sit down and have a dinner, go and watch a play, you like traveling and so forth. If the person you're with doesn't like that, That's something don't talk to me about, well, when we get married we work on it. No, you got to fix that. If that person don't share those same interests, right? I saw something today, and I'm going to go to it because hopefully I can find it here, man. This was good. Oh, Jesus, it was good, man. I screenshot it, man, and I want to read it to you. Here it is. And I love this. It says, I used to think communication is key, but it turns out, but it turns out, but it turns out that's not true. It is finding someone who has the same energy for you that you have for them. Listen, it is finding someone who has the same energy for you that you have for them. You ride for them, they ride for you. You nurture them, they nurture you. You respect them, they respect you. That's it. That's the goal. I couldn't agree with this person more. This is so true, man. You've got to make sure the person that you are befriending, dating, or getting married to, that you share the same interest. A lot of people mess up their lives is because they didn't focus on that. What do you like? Is that person a person who's very talkative, likes to communicate? Because there's some people don't communicate at all, and their communication skills is horrible. If they do, you just don't make sense of what they're saying and so forth. Listen, and a lot of you ladies know I'm talking about. And if you're out there and I'm talking the truth and I'm talking about you or whatever, I need you to make some comments, man, because there's a lot of guys you've dated. Yeah, you fell for them. Everything was good, but you found out that their interest is completely night and day to yours, and now you're struggling. Some of you already married that person. Same thing with men. Right now, there's a woman in your life, and you realize you don't even share the same interest. Your values are completely different. So that's my encouragement to you. And finally, number 7, seize every opportunity you get in life. Seize every opportunity you get in life. Life presents on a daily basis opportunities. And don't kid yourself. The opportunities of today may, in most cases, don't come back the next day. I believe that God is a God of seasons. I can't tell you how many times in my own personal life I've had opportunities that I didn't take advantage of, and they never came back. I regret to this day that I didn't seize the moment. And every day we're getting opportunities. God has given us new mercies, opening doors and opportunities that he's putting right before us. And that's where we need the spirit of discernment. And then sometimes just take a risk, man. I have some success stories. Yes, I let a lot of opportunities slip by, but there's some opportunities I took advantage of. And boy, I am telling you now, I'm so glad I took the risk. It was dangerous. It was risky. I was scared. I didn't know what I was doing, but I did. And it has paid off. I see the hand of God. I see God just saying, like, well done, Henry. You trusted me. So don't walk away from opportunities that are scaring you. The worst, listen, you may not like this. The worst that can happen is that you failed. That's it. And what's wrong if you failed? At least you are now educated on what not to do and how to do things better. At least you tried, right? It's better to try and fail than fail to try. So take advantage of the opportunities. You have to take risk in life. The mere fact you woke up this morning, you got in your car or public transportation or do anything, it is a risk, and you did it comfortably. You did it knowing that you're going to be all right. Take those risks in life. So I want to go through them again and encourage you to follow these 7 successful life principles. Number 1, Put God first. Number 2, take care of yourself emotionally and physically. Number 3, never stop learning. Number 4, be quick to forgive, let go, and move on. Number 5, don't be afraid to make decisions that will make people angry. Number 6, make sure you befriend, date, and marry people who share your values. And finally, number 7, seize every opportunity. Hopefully, I help you today. You know what? I always appreciate your comments. Many of you, you've listened to my podcast over and over. I haven't heard from you yet. Come on, do something today. Say to me, Henry, thank you. I needed this today. This is what I'm thinking. Or you disagree, share your, comments with me. I don't get offended. We all see things differently. But share this podcast with someone. There's someone in your life who could benefit from what I just said. So please do that. Thank you so much. And don't forget to follow me on all the social media platforms. I love you. I'll see you next time.